What is up, guys? Welcome back to a rundown. It's not an NBA rundown, it is a tennis rundown as I am here with the guru, the creator of the best builds. Got Suzy with me here. And Suzy, you've been doing quite well building up some lineups. How's everything been treating you for our first normal tennis season here?
It's been good. Today was awful though, but it's been good. It's been a good last couple weeks. It has been.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty exciting Olympics for us, right?
I can't
Belinda
believe they didn't give
Bencic.
us slate for the Olympics.
What's up?
I still can't believe they didn't give us slates for the Olympics. They
Yeah,
kept
that
giving us
that
eight match,
that
nine
was
match slates, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do a playbook. What am I gonna do with 8 matches?
yeah. That was kind of odd. But so I was actually surprised. Now, on this Zverev side, we do the podcast, and my partners were fortunate enough to push me in the right direction. So I was on Zverev. We thought that 12-1 was too high. We thought it should have been closer to Medvedev's and Tsitsipas's numbers. So that was fantastic. On the women's side, I kind of like Svitolina to get it done here, and I liked her number. But as the tournament progressed and she became the favorite, JJ and I were able to jump in on Belinda. What did you take away from both their wins? Right, I mean, a good breakthrough for both players, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised Sabrina made it far. I'm happy she got the medal. I am surprised on Belinda and Bondro.
Yeah,
When it comes to the DFS side, I hate playing either of them because all they do is double fall. And the way that Banjo crushed Osaka, I mean, wow. I thought Osaka
yeah,
would win, especially at home. But Belinda, I mean, that was a good match. Went three between the two of them.
yeah. I mean, it was wild, and that Naomi looked so good in her first round match, but it's almost like, boy, if you could sit on the sideline for 3 months and come back and crush everybody, that might not bode well. So at least it'll be competitive going forward. So that was a lot of fun. But now we're heading back to our time zone. There in North America, I have Ali Risk and Kiki Vandeweghe on the TV for me right now, and the matches go all day long. So this is going to be a lot of fun for us. We're going to start in Washington in the City Open. Now they do not have the women there this year, which is a little bit disappointing. But we still got a great tournament for the men. The first match I'd like to talk with you about is James Duckworth against Tennis Sandgren. Now, Sandgren kind of mentioned he could be pretty close to done after his Olympics loss. How are we looking at this match? I don't rate Duckworth that highly, but it seems hard to back a guy who's contemplating retirement, huh?
I don't know. I like Duckworth. He's been pretty consistent.
Hmm.
I played like 2 3 weeks ago. I played Sandgren like the first his first match of the tournament. It was a close match, but he won in two for me. But after that, he lost, and I was just like, man, he looks terrible. He couldn't get Sandgren's somebody that he always had a lot of aces, big serve. I mean, not like Isner, but like he got a pretty decent serve, and he's just not getting them in anymore. I think he's done. I think after this
Yeah,
last swing, you're done with him. But I mean, looking at these odds, they're super close. I'm hoping that the closer the odds when DK prices them, they're like one 7.5, the other one like 7.3. I'm hoping we get some close pricing there because that would be nice value for Duckworth.
I wouldn't be surprised, right? I'm on Bookmaker right now, plus 105,
Mm-hmm.
minus 128 for Duckworth. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty close here. And I think you're getting value on Duckworth only because we're basically fading Tenny Sandgren. Any player that ever talks about retirement, I want to be on the other side of him. So I kind of like Duckworth from a betting perspective. Now, if he does come out at 7,500, are you pretty excited
Oh
to
yeah,
get involved with Duckworth and put him in the lineup?
I will. I will. He's just been so consistent. I mean, I thought he had like a. I mean, I've known who he was, but I feel like during the Australia swing, obviously he's Australian, but
Hmm.
he did great. I mean, he was winning matches and the before Australian Open, the little ones that they have there. So, and I've been playing him a lot. I will lock him in if he's that cheap.
Yeah, and Josh CT says I'm a big Sandgren fan. It's tough to back him right now. I agree on both counts. So we both like Duckworth there, and we're going to try and fit him into our lineup. Another let's see, 11 for me match is Feliciano Lopez. I didn't realize he still played. I thought he was just a tournament director now. I'm going against Dennis Kudla, and this is surprisingly close here. Lopez only plus 147. Are you surprised that that line is so short? And do you expect Lopez to get it done?
This was grass. Actually, no, because Goodla's good on grass too. That is close. That is really close. Kudla's been playing pretty good. This one really depends on the pricing. I have to back Kudla at home, but I mean that's close. That's one of those that can go either way.
So I'm looking if it's minus 182 for Kudla. What is that usually coming around? 8,200, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
he'll probably be around there.
Is that too expensive?
I mean, it depends who. I mean, I'm hoping we get a big slate. There's a ton of matches, so it depends what they do. Because lately they've been slacking, giving us some smaller ones. I probably fade. I mean, if I run a few, I'll play him in one. But if I'm running one, I don't know. I don't know that I trust him enough.
All right. Well, let's see if they can give us some prices
I'm hoping we get some.
beforehand. Our guy Terlansky's in the chat, and he likes the over in that match. So that'll be
Yes,
quite
I
interesting to see
probably
how
those
that one
three. I
turns out.
agree.
Did you see Atlanta? Like you could just bet over every single match. I mean, every match was going over.
Yes, I caught
Yeah,
the
that
end of the final of
of
Ishner.
Isner. Yeah.
He always wins at home.
Yeah, the John Isner Invitational. The next match, and I watched a little bit of this gentleman earlier, and I think you tweeted this was this is the match, the worst tennis you've ever seen, Brandon
No,
Nakashima.
that was no, that was the women's worst match I've ever seen in my life.
What was the match you were? I thought I had Nakashima on my TV.
It was Kanja versus
Oh,
Buzkova. And
Buzkova,
so
yeah.
last night when I did the playbook, there were a few matches that none of the odds were out. So this morning I looked them up and I updated it real quick. And I was like, man, Konju's super cheap. She was the second cheapest player, and she
Hmm.
was favored. And so she was like mega chalk. I think K Fleek told me she was like 40 something percent owned in the big 180. And I mean, it went back. I went three, and it went back and forth. And Buskova was serving for the set, got broken, and they just both are awful.
Yeah,
They're
and
awful.
Kanja was really talented. Missed like 2 to 3 years with injury, and now it's kind of coming back unheralded. Um, yeah, well, sorry you had to sit through that. I had the Nakashima on when you tweeted that. So he was able to advance, and he goes against Alexei Popyrin, and these are close. This is actually better than the women's side, which is rare. For the early rounds, usually the men are heavier chalk. Nakashima at minus 156, which means he'll probably come in 78, 7,900. Would you be interested in getting involved in this match? I'll tell you what, I didn't see enough from Nakashima today to make me want to back him at minus 150.
Who was he playing today? Because I mean, I didn't see his match today. He could have been a little tired. He did make it.
Yeah, let me
So
pull up. Let me
yeah,
pull
who
up
do you play
the.
today? While you're doing that, one of my big rules is if they went deep into a final, specifically playing in the final,
Mhm,
I try to not play them that first match because they could be tired.
exactly.
Oh, I've never. It always happens. I think last week I took Rudd's opponent, and he took him to three and was serving for the set and lost and ended up getting broken by Rudd, and Rudd ended up going to win. I mean, it was his third tournament. He just went to two finals in a row, and so I took my chance, but it is what it is.
All right. Well, excuse me. I got it wrong. I didn't watch Nakashima play today. I got it mixed up with Marchenko and Giron. I don't even know how I made
Yeah,
that
they were
mistake.
playing. Yeah, Nagashima didn't play today.
Yeah. So excuse me for that one. But how would you like? Would you look to get involved here with Nakashima at minus one
So
fifty, or
they,
is this too much?
so that's what I say. I know I don't like to play when they go deep. I mean, he's young though, and I mean
Hmm.
I'm a big Nakashima fan. I remember when last year I think it was the U.S. Open. JJ, I had a core and he played. Nakashima was like 7,000 or something. I remember he took it down the big $15 one, and I was like, man, I love this kid. He's super cheap. He's more known now, but back then he wasn't as known.
Hmm.
Uh, I know Popyrin's been having a. He's been pretty consistent, decent, but I'll back Brandon.
All right. Not afraid to lay the juice here. And so, would you advise it from the betting perspective? It's minus 156, or would you lay the minus two at minus 105?
165. I mean, it could go three. He did just go to a final. I mean, I think he wins no matter what. I mean, I can't
So
imagine
just
him
lay
losing.
it then.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll just lay the minus 156. Another morning match. Oh, this is going to be fun for me to try and pronounce. Emil Rusevori going against Praj Gunneswaran. Gunneswaran is plus 251. I'll be honest, Susie, two players I haven't watched a lot.
I'm just gonna say his first name because I can't say his last name. Emil. He looked pretty good last week. I think he lost, but he was playing it close. He's definitely better on hard court, so I do like him a lot. Gunna
Okay.
scoring is, I mean, 315. He's gonna win.
All right.
That should win that.
So at minus 323, he might be like 9 or 10K. Would you put him in there, or do you think there's going to be better options?
Uh, on the men's side, yeah, I like him based on what I see. I mean, I have to deal with Steve Johnson. Hate playing him. Jordan Thompson. Yeah, I'd play him over the other ones, but he's probably going to be one of the higher. He's going to be the highest price guy. So it
You think
depends.
so?
I mean, you got to
Okay.
fit your lineup. So if I have to play like some dogs that I just hate, I won't play him. But if I can get him decent, I'll play him.
Yeah, not like a big name, a bunch of big names here on the spend up. So,
Tomorrow we
you
should
know,
see the dolls in this tournament, so we should see him tomorrow, the day after.
yeah. So, next one is Stevie Johnson going against Ramanathan. Who?
You know,
Okay, so I've watched Stevie Johnson a lot. Not a lot of Ramanathan. What do you think of
sometimes
this
I'm
one?
watching a match and they'll say somebody's name, and I'm like, oh man, I've been saying their name wrong the whole time.
Yeah, but they say they'll say them different depending on where the announcer's from. So that's why I don't even worry about it anymore.
um, Steve. I mean, I know I hate playing him, but he should win this match.
Yeah, he probably should. But but Willie, from a betting perspective, I see no reason to get involved, especially at minus 227. I'm not laying minus three with Steve Johnson at this point in his career either. I'm gonna go ahead and cross this one off my list. Do you think that it's pretty safe to cross this off your DFS build as well?
If he's like the same price as Emil, I'd probably go Emil over him. I
Hmm.
I wouldn't take Steve off just based on the guys that I have to based on the other matches. Yeah, I mean I would play him. I wouldn't cross him off.
Okay, so maybe
Depends.
I'm
It really
just
kind of depends on the pricing, right? I mean,
yeah.
he's where he is, but
So
I
we'll
wouldn't
see
cross
if
him off.
he shows up with a Luigi looking mustache. We got Jordan Thompson at minus 189 against Elias Amir.
Is that the good one or
Amir's
the bad one? Oh, yes, I gotta look it up.
oh, there's two Amirs, isn't there?
Yeah, give me one sec. I just get them confused. So
It's
this is
Elias and what's the other
the
one, Michael or
this the kind yeah. This is the suckier
so.
one.
Yeah, I think this is the one that's not as good.
So yeah, Jordan should cruise here. I mean at that, but let me tell you something. Jordan should crush. I can't even tell you how many times we've played Jordan and he's just like sucked. But he has been playing consistent these last few weeks, so I'll play him based on his form right now. He's in some good form.
Okay. Yeah, I see that he got a win over Harris and Gojowicz and
Mm-hmm.
fell to the aforementioned Nakashima earlier. And Amir got a win, and this must have been in qualifying, over my guy JJ Wolf, who rocks the mullet and the
I
neon
like
like Andre
JJ.
Agassi.
I do like him. There was a tournament earlier this year that he did pretty good,
Yeah.
or it was the end of last year actually. I don't remember. He's pretty
All
good.
right. Well, let's see. We got one more for the men, and this one, of course, should be last. It's Mr. Nick Kyrgios, another player who has hinted at retirement.
Yes, I saw that. Is it today or yesterday? I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah.
but he just talks. I could see it, but I don't know. He's still
Yeah.
so young. He's what, 26, 27?
Yeah, it's like 26. It's like, why wouldn't you not just travel the world and make a bunch of money, even if you only win the second or third round? It's
Yeah.
more than you're gonna make doing anything else. So let's talk about this from a DFS perspective. My like real primitive DFS mind says Kyrgios hits aces. I want him in my lineup. He's minus 182. He's probably gonna be like 8,600. But am I missing something here?
No, I mean if Nick wins goes three, he will still score decent if he puts up
Hmm.
his aces. One thing is McDonald is a tricky player. He doesn't.
Yeah,
McDonald can play. It was like last week. He was Nick was playing Nori,
yeah,
and I knew it. I was like, man, I should play Nori. Nori's been so good all year, and I was like, I'm gonna play Nick. But I just played one lineup. I wasn't doing too much, and I was just like, man, I messed up. I should have gone Nori. I knew it. Nick got crushed, but I his first game he did great against Anderson. So I mean, he's here. He's a wait. correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he the defending champion?
Is he? I would have to double check
He
that.
is.
Wow, did he win Washington last year?
The year
Or is
before
that
last, but it
Is that
wasn't
from
in
2 years
Astaire.
ago?
It was
Oh,
2 years
okay.
ago because they
Well,
moved
that
it.
makes sense why I don't remember it then.
I don't remember if this one was last year, but they moved some tournament to New York right before the U.S. Open. But I
Okay.
don't think this one. But he won 2 years ago, so I'm going to back Nick. He's going to want to make a run.
All right. Well, I don't mind that at all because, like I said, in my mind, aces, DFS go hand in hand. So I have no problem putting Kyrgios in my lineup. Let's go ahead and look at the women's tournament in Northern California tomorrow. I might make a trip down there this week. We will see if I can figure out the time to do it. The first match that we will talk about is Kiki Mladenovic going against Nali Han. And I'll tell you what, I know the women much better than I know the men, and I still don't know Nali Han.
Wait,
Do you have any
hold
insight
on.
on this match?
Wait, which match? Hold on.
Kiki Mladenovic's match?
Oh God, I don't know who that is. Um, well, I don't know. I gotta. I hate playing Kiki. She double faults all the time,
Yeah.
and she's gonna be priced up there. And I'd rather pay for one of the guys than her. The only thing is she has that bagel upside. You know how she will do those random matches where she'll just crush if it's been a
And
while. But I
with this being a player, I don't know. Maybe I could look it up. I mean, my guess is that she's pretty low ranked if I don't even know her. Thinking she's got to be lower than 150. I think I know most of the people in the top 150.
Kiki loses this, she's gonna win this match. I just I don't trust her. I don't trust her serves. Like you can play her and then she'll hit. I mean, each serve she can probably hit two double faults, and I mean that's gonna crush her score. It's gonna drop tremendously. That is my only concern. I hate playing her because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Han's from Korea. She's 270 in the world. She's essentially an ITF level player. She made it through qualifyings here, beat Christy on, which, I mean, she had that one nice run in the U.S. Open last year. But other than that, I mean, she's an ITF level player. Before that, she played Charlotte and bowed out. Lost to Olivia Gadecki, and I'm not even sure where that tournament is. She's pretty much only played ITF level tournaments since
Yeah.
Wimbledon, and she's only 2-5. So,
Watch, Kiki's gonna be the highest priced player on the slate. What she
well,
was 300 and Emil was what 315. They'll put I bet you they put Kiki as the highest player.
and do we take advantage or do we just stay away because
It depends on I mean, it's hard to reach the top unless you get a few dogs, right? And
yeah.
also, if
To
it's
me,
small.
to me, this feels like as much as we want to not trust Kiki and all those things, it just seems too much. And this is pure talent's going to overwhelm her. Even if Kiki's not at her best,
Kiki
I still think she
she
wins
has
like
to
2 and
crush.
3.
She should crush. I'm
Yeah.
100% positive she crushes, but I don't want. I mean, she could even get a big O. I just don't trust the double faults.
Yeah. From a betting perspective, I think she crushes too. I'll take the under 20.5. That's the way I'm looking there. I like that better than the -4.5. Yeah, all I need is 2.64s and I'm there. So I like the Mladenovic under 20.5. The next match we have, this is okay. This is the most fun tomorrow. So this is the one. I don't know if I'll be back in time, but I'm gonna tape it and I want to see it, or Tennis Channel Plus or whatever. But Donna Vekic -152 against Yulia Putintseva.
Ooh, that's
Um,
a dog I could take there.
yeah, Putintseva has been playing better than Vekic as of late. I think at their best, Vekic wins. But when was the last time we saw Vekic's best? At
I
least a
think. Let
year.
me pull her up real quick. I Tell me I'm wrong. I think she recently was doing kind of decent. Uh, can you pull? I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll pull up her most recent results
She
in the
beat.
Olympics.
That's what it was. Olympics. She beat Saba
She
in
beat
threes.
Sabalenka. Yeah.
So that was like, oh,
So
wow,
do you though? Do you
impressive.
rank victories over Sabalenka that high? I mean, a lot of times when she loses, she just loses. It doesn't really matter who's across the net.
I saw today some guy in a Discord was hyping her up, and I said, look, I love Saba, but she's just a mental case.
Yeah.
She can play, but she's another one. She'll just double fault her way. But I mean, it's a big match based on how bad Beckett's been playing. She's been really, really bad. So her wins versus, I mean, Garcia's another one that's a head case. But
Yeah, I don't rank that at all.
But look at the score versus Ryba. Rybakina beat her 7-6, 6-4. So it wasn't even like I mean, that's something that you think Ryba would crush her based on how bad Beckett's been. Honestly, 2 years ago, Donna was like, I lock her in everything. I mean, the
Hmm.
very first time I took down a tennis tournament, I had Donna in it. But I mean, that's tough. I mean, if you're looking for value tomorrow, Yulia is definitely somebody you could play. She can win this match. Do I trust? I mean, this one can go either way.
Um,
But Donna's in
yeah,
some
I mean,
form.
looking at Putin right? Not much here except for a little win at Budapest, which I actually I didn't bet on that tournament a lot, but for whatever reason, I think I watched every single one of her matches. It was on every morning with my coffee, and I had a lot of fun watching her there. Then, you know what? It's a concern though, is that she dropped out of the Olympics there with an injury here.
She did. She haven't even looked at it. Like,
Yeah,
what
so
was the injury? I mean, but look, you could play Beck Donna. She'll win. If there's an injury, I mean, she can win this match. But she's somebody that tends to double fault or tends to go. She'll lose her first set and then turn it around.
yeah, honestly, if she didn't pull out of the Olympic match with an injury, I would be all over this plus 123.
Well,
I have no problems
that's
just
something
not.
to watch. I mean, she could withdraw tomorrow and Donna gets somebody easier. But that's
Oh yeah.
the match is so late that unless you're doing late slate, but you won't get that news in the morning. That today it started at 12 or 11.
Well, here's the deal. I don't think that Yulia travels all the way from Japan to San Jose unless she's intending to play. I think she'll get out there regardless.
Sometimes I'll look at their Instagrams and see if they're there or not, and their stories they'll post. That's how I caught someone withdrawn
Is
from
she
like
there?
I don't know. Let me pull it up.
Did you see Alize Cornet? They canceled her flight, so she couldn't even make it to the next tournament.
Who can she canceled her own flight?
No, she was flying with Lufthansa, and she was supposed to fly out of Tokyo to the other tournament that we're not even going to talk about that's going on in Europe. And
Oh, okay, okay.
Lufthansa basically canceled the flight, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get you on this one." And she's like, "But my match starts like tomorrow."
So she's in California. She posted a picture on Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills,
That's
2 days
like
ago. So
eight
she's there.
miles. I mean, 8 hours from San Jose.
Yeah, but she was probably going to California. I mean, if she's in California,
Oh, I don't even want to know what Yulia Putintseva does on Rodeo Drive. I cannot even imagine.
shop.
Yeah, so I would not want to be the sales lady that made her mad. All right. This now we'll save that one. We'll go in chronological order too. The next match is, I mean, this is a firecracker of a match. Isla Tomljanovic,
Ooh,
of
Amanda
fame
Nunes.
of being in Berrettini's box, going against Amanda Anisimova. Amanda's minus 120. Isla minus 101. So we're probably looking at like what, a 7,800, 7,200 style
Yeah.
pricing. What do you think of this match? I think it's normally I like Anisimova, but Tomljanovic has the form right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Uh, yes and no. I mean, she was in form on grass, but she's somebody that can't hold her serve.
Good
Neither really
point.
is Amanda. But
Hmm.
I mean, I was surprised. I was surprised how far she made it at Wimbledon. I will say that she is in some good form.
Hmm.
I ever since look, I was a big Amanda fan, a
Uh
huge
huh.
fan. She was like what 2 years ago when she came on the scene when she was 18. She's what
Yeah.
late 20 now.
Hmm.
She was amazing. I thought she was gonna be the next big thing, and then her dad died
Yeah.
last year before the U.S. Open.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's after that it was downhill. She's been getting better. She's just so inconsistent now. She went
Yeah.
from
I
being
like.
dominant to, I mean, she can barely hold her serve. So I don't know what Amanda we're gonna get.
All right. And so from a betting perspective, and we do this all the time on the NBA rundown as well. I don't see any reason to get involved in this match here.
No, one of the favorites
So
from
many
April
unknowns.
3. Mm-hmm.
And then you can just watch it, and you're going to get a great idea for whoever wins, maybe how they're playing going into the next round. A lot of times, right? I mean, we could watch, and you could just watch, and you could say, I'm going to fade whoever wins this the very next round, or whoever wins this is going to smash the next round. So
Well,
I have no problem just keep an eye on that one and not getting involved. from a gambling perspective. Um, let's see, Little Miss Match Timeout herself, Diana Yastremska, is back on tour.
That is
Pretty
unreal.
fantastic that she lived up to her name and took a match timeout in her very first match back from injury.
She
You
did.
can't make it up. I wonder if she's just trolling us at this point.
Wait, that
Anyways,
when was she hurt?
what's up?
When was she hurt?
Well, she wasn't hurt. She was on drug suspension.
No, yeah, I know. That's what you said back from injury, so I was confused.
Yeah, I misspoke myself. But her very first match back, you think she would be healthy. But no, she needed the match timeout. She obviously uses it as part of her strategy. Not popular with me, but those are the rules, and she's playing by them. I think this line is short. Are you
Hold on, who
surprised that
is
she's
this?
only minus 182 against Claire Lou?
Is Clara the American that's been playing decent? Hold on. She is. Oh man, that's
Is
Claire.
she playing decent?
Look
I
at
was
Claire
big on Claire
Lou.
Lou like 3 years ago, and then she never really just made the jump.
She's. I mean, she's only 21 now. So look, okay, I'm not gonna count the French because that's different. But let me get to grass. So Wimbledon, she went through qualifiers. In the first round, she beat Doi. She lost to Rybakina 6-4,
Hmm.
6-4. Okay,
Yeah, it's not bad.
that's not bad. And then before that, I think before the French in the Miami Open, she got crushed. There was a tournament I played her. Oh, Australia. Let me go to Australia. Oh, I don't know. There was a tournament that she made a kind of decent run, but I mean, yes, I will play her. She has big O potential. She should crush here. I can't imagine
You
her
who do you think
losing.
crushes? Yeah, just Stremska?
I don't think crushes. I think she wins in straight.
Yeah, I think minus 182 is wrong. I think this number should be like minus 280. I'm not a big fan of Claire Lou at all. I guess, the idea that Yastrzemska has played one match. I mean, well, she played in Hamburg and then she played, so she hasn't played much since coming back. Regardless, I just think that Claire Lou's an ITF player and Yastrzemska could be a top 20 player. Um, I don't want to lay minus 182. I'm pretty comfortable with either minus three. I'll take the minus three actually, in case Lou steals the set.
She
I'll
could
take
drop a set. Yas is known to
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
It's the thing. At the men's, I feel like at the men's, you get more straight sets. These women,
yeah. No,
no,
definitely because they can't count on their serves.
they break.
So there's so many more breaks. Yeah, I could see also Claire, getting a tiebreak or something off just Stremska. So I'll go ahead and then take the minus three. I'll stay away from the under in that one. Let's talk about Sloane Stevens.
Oh, my favorite
Uh,
player. Yeah, right.
she's your favorite?
Oh, yeah, right. I've met her before. She was.
Oh, how did that go?
So I was with my mom at the Miami Open.
Uh
She
huh.
was a nobody, and we were at one of the bars getting a glass of wine, and these two men come up to us, and we're like, "Oh, are you guys gonna go watch Sloane Stevens?" And me and my mom were like, "Who in the world is that?" And so, whatever. We were waiting for a later match because we finished the day session, waiting for the night session. So we go
Uh
over to watch, and she ended up winning. And so
huh.
afterwards, like, "Oh yeah, it's my cousin. She's on her way up." They started talking about her dad's an ex NFL player, which he is. But they start talking, and so afterwards, like, "Oh, do you want to meet her or take a picture with her?" So they go to their dressing room. They come out. She comes out with her mom. She's like, "Oh, her cousin's like, can you take a picture of them?" And she kind of made a face like, "I won't talk to anybody." But then she came and took a picture. But like her, just like her making a face and like, "You're nobody right now." Yeah. But so I do have a picture with her, and she was nice in the end. And I mean, they were cool people. They ended up reaching out to us. So my mom had to hook up for tickets, so they were like, "Oh, can we get for?" Because I guess she couldn't get them in for like some other tournament. But
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want about Sloane's uh, trying hard on a consistent basis, but she does seem like a genuinely good person, and she seems pretty well liked by the other
oh,
girls
she
on
the year
tour.
after it's funny. The year after we met her, she won the U.S. Open. So
I
we
was
beat
rooting for
her
Maddie so
that
much in that match. That was one of the ones that, like, beyond money, I was just crushed by the result. I wanted Keys to win so bad, and I feel like I was kind of right that was like her one chance.
that was
Like I
she'd
don't know if she'll ever get there again.
ever again. And I love Keys.
And it was like Keys used to be such a hard hitter compared to everyone else, and now it's kind of like just normal compared to how hard these girls hit now. So, yeah, that's too bad. But Sloane's at minus 167 against Kat McNally here. You know,
Sloane couldn't win a match. She couldn't win a match for nothing. This year, she's had like a mini resurgence.
yeah, she's playing all right. Like you can't just auto fade her anymore.
You can't. She's
Um,
been really good.
yeah,
Um,
McNally hasn't played since Wimbledon. She lost in the first round there.
she was caught
Um,
up in some of those point shaving stuff or whatever.
McNally was. Oh, she was in doubles, huh?
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah. So, but anyways, I mean, McNally sucks, but so I don't like to play Sloan. If I play Sloan, I cringe. I just
I'm with you there. And there's no reason
but
to ever play her as a favorite.
but if she's always like the same price. She's always like 8,000 or
Yeah.
8,200. Can I play her? Yes. Will she be in my core? No. And if I can avoid her, I'll avoid her. But she has a very winnable match.
Yeah, I mean, if you're betting her, you're fading McNally. You're not betting on Sloane Stevens. It's just a McNally fade because
Yeah, yeah.
it's really hard to back
I
Sloane.
wouldn't touch McNally. She's don't even
Yeah,
bother.
yeah.
Only
I
if
like Sloane like as a big dog because she does have the talent to stay with some of the better players, especially the big hitters where she's comfortable. I don't like playing her as a favorite at all. I see no problem with staying away. And now we are to the match of the night, and I think this price is wrong. But I wanted to talk to you, Susie, before I made the bet. But Danielle Collins only minus 135 against Shelby Rogers. I mean, I know that I underrate Shelby Rogers. Like, I know that's like an issue I have. But come on, doesn't that price seem way too short?
Danielle Collins should be favored way more. That's a little disrespectful.
Yeah. So here's what we're
She's
dealing with is
okay.
a
Hold
fatigue
on.
fade.
What's the second? So she just won her very first tournament. Do you know that? I didn't know that was her very first, like
Danielle never won one
in the
before.
WTA. I'm sure she's
Oh,
won
I
it.
didn't know that either. No, that's good knowledge.
I heard him say it today a little bit ago. I was watching the um the match I was on, and they were saying about her winning her first match and the confidence you gain after. I mean, winning your first tournament, the confidence you gain after winning it. My only concern is Collins the week before. No,
It was a week
midway
ago.
through from
So
last week.
I don't count this as a fatigue fade. She should have had plenty of time to
She
get to
should have.
the
That's what it was.
United States, right?
She made it to the semifinals on July 17th. So that was what, 2 weeks ago. And she was playing Kalinina and she
Yeah,
withdrew with an injury. So then I was
yeah,
concerned with her last week and she won every match in straight sets. Wow. She's
yeah.
inspiring.
She just smashed. Were you watching that? I mean, it
I
was just 2-0 was like the easiest bet. To
so
be
that's what
fair, I mean that's a vulture tournament though. I mean
yeah,
there was no one near her level.
none. Yeah, I
So
mean Bruce. Well that was on clay though. That's another thing. She's
yeah,
not a clay person.
I
Brooke,
watched some
what's your
Roos
best
this morning. I
service?
like her game.
Who?
Roos, I like her game
Yeah, I
actually.
like her.
Yeah.
She made me some money last few weeks. So Collins, her favorite service is hardcore. Shelby Rogers is not a scrub. This can go. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Do I think Collins wins? Yes. I don't see her crushing. I even think Shelby could take a set off her.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
mean,
So
Shelby's been very good. I mean,
no, she's been really good this year.
Shelby's can play.
Yeah.
She beat Sakari at Wimbledon.
Yeah, and she had a nice little run at Eastbourne
That's what I'm looking at right
before
now.
she
Yep.
before she fell short to Camilla Giorgi, who was redlining it and would have beat most of the tour that
Let
day.
me see her at Australia in the hard court ones or Miami. So in Miami, look in Miami she took Civilina to three, and
Yeah.
she won 6-3 and then lost the next two 7-5 6-3. And the
Yeah,
same.
I thought she played pretty well in Miami. I didn't think that was a bad one because I kind of been in a group I network with. I had been down on her, and some other guys have been saying, "Hey, your handicap is wrong. This player is better than you're giving her credit for." And then I tuned in, and I kind of realized, like, hey, these guys are all right. I am underrating her.
Yeah, for sure.
So
So yeah, it's so tough for me. So I love Danielle Collins. Like that year. Do you remember that year she went like super deep in Australia?
yeah,
3 years ago.
She made
She
the
was playing
semifinals.
Kerber.
Yeah.
I had all wins, and all I had left was Kerber. And
Uh-huh.
Kerber just, I mean, she Collins beat her like 6-0, 6-1, and I was like, oh my god, I was so
Yeah.
mad.
That
It
was one
wasn't
of
even
those
the
ones where
biggest
you're
match.
not surprised, but you're surprised at how bad it was.
It was so bad, and I mean, I didn't watch all the matches, and so I saw that, and I was like, man, this chick was this chick, and so I started following her, and I mean, I'm a big Collins fan. Her serve is probably her weakness a little bit. She can hit. She has a lot of power. I don't know. Collins wins. Collins wins in three, I think.
Yeah, I like Collins there as well. So we've gone through the card on both. We were hoping that DraftKings. Did you want to give us a refresh? I just did a quick one about 3 minutes ago. I don't think we're going to have any lineup news. So, unfortunately, if you want to find out Suzy's builds, which have been fantastic, they've been. There's so many members that post the screenshots where they use the core build, add a couple of their own players, just from their own watching tennis or from chatting in the Discord, and we're able to cash. So you're going to have to head on over to runpuresports.com, use the promo code RPS Heater 25 to get 25% off your first month. You'll get access to Suzy's Core, which is posted in a timely manner every single night. And then, let's say you're having problems filling that out, you can go ahead and jump in the Discord at Suzy, ask her the question, and say, hey, I can't decide. I'm down between, do I want to play um, do I want to play Danielle Collins or do I want to play Annie Samova? And she's going to go ahead and give you her best idea of who's going to get you the most points. Of course, we're not always right, but hey, she's right a lot more often than she's not. So fantastic work. But we're not letting you get out of here that easily today, Suzy. If you have the odds up, do you want to give everybody a best bet on either the ATP or the women's side?
Let's see. I'm gonna
If you want to
say
think about it, I will give out mine
Duckworth.
right now.
Venus Duckworth at a minus 130. Oh, I'm really liking it.
All right, I agree with you on that Duckworth too. So, and basically, it's just a fade from a guy that's thinking about retirement. So, he might come out and find some of that old mojo, but I got no problem going against him. I am going to go for the young woman we mentioned earlier, Danielle Collins. I know that Shelby Rogers is playing great, but I love the way that Collins is playing right now. She loves the hard courts. I'm up here in Northern California right now. It's hot. And guess who loves the heat?
Her.
Danielle loves the heat. She's like me. She doesn't want to go to Russia. She wants to be in Florida. She wants to be in Mexico. She wants to be in the places where we sweat. So Suzy likes Duckworth, and I like Danielle Collins. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. So for the content for the week, Tyler and I will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to discuss NBA free agency. A bunch of moves came in today, so we're going to probably, hopefully, there'll be lines for the overall odds. We'll maybe look and see if there's something we want to jump in on right away. Then Wednesday night, I haven't checked with Suzy yet. We'll talk after the show, but for sure, JJ and I will be here at 8:30 again. And then Friday night, we'll be back at 8:30 to discuss the finals for the weekend. So, Suzy, thank you everybody thank you for hanging out with everybody. I know that they're excited to hear everything you had to say. Did you have anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's all for me.
Cool. Well, it's great talking to you and getting all these great thoughts, especially on the men's side, where I admit I am a little deficient, but pretty excited to watch some tennis on that's not on while I'm sleeping. I mean, it's cool to wake up and
I
have it
know,
with my
right?
coffee, but
I was like, man, we guess finally
it's
back.
so nice to just have it on this evening. And I'm not even going to bet it. I'm just going to have it on and enjoy it. But it's so good that they're back in the United States. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Like I said, NBA tomorrow. And then we will be back on Wednesday night at 8:30 with more tennis breakdowns, more tennis best bets. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Head on over to runpurebets.com. If you want to join, use the promo code GETBETS. You can become a member of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets at the same time. Get access to my bets, get access to Suzy's Core. No better value in sports.